Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Welcome back to another installment of Hadith Disciple Critical Book Review. It pleases us greatly to present to you Hadith Nomenclature Primers, Nukhbat al-Fikr, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, and At-Tadhkira al-Tadhkira Ibn Mulaqin, translated by Musa Ferber. Of course, as we have explained before, we will not be criticizing or reviewing or discussing the original books in the Arabic language, Nukhbat al-Fikr and the Tadhkira. Rather, we will be discussing and looking into the translation and the presentation of these two works. The translation and the presentation of these two works. First is Nukhbat al-Fikr of Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar, and the second is At-Tadhkira of Al-Hafidh ibn al-Mulaqin, with the translation by Musa Ferber. So in general, the translation and the presentation of these two works is a good one. It's very good, a great service, a very beneficial contribution to the Hadith library in the English language, to the Hadith Renaissance in the English language. Alhamdulillah for that. So the book is roughly 60 pages. It's printed by Islam Mosaic. It says here, information on the book. Copyright 2005 and also 2015 by Stephen Musa Woodward Ferber. Okay, so 60 pages. That's when the book was printed and published. And that is the printer or the publisher, Islam Mosaic. Okay, tayyib. So it says here on the back, Hadith Nomenclature Primers, Nukhbat al-Fikr and Al-Tadhkira. This volume presents two primers on the discipline of Hadith nomenclature, Mustalah al-Hadith, and the authentication of transmitted reports. They are Nukhbat al-Fikr, chosen thoughts on the nomenclature of Hadith experts by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, 773 to 852 after the Hijrah, and Al-Tadhkira, the memorandum by Ibn al-Mulaqin. These primers were written to facilitate speedy mastery of the discipline's core material. Although the primers focus on definitions, they also include methods for addressing problems specific to the topic. Students would often commit a primer to memory while studying with a living master who would explain its content in detail and demonstrate its application. It is through this interaction between students and instructors that Islamic education transmits both knowledge and skills across generations. In translation, these primers are ideal for English-speaking instructors looking for a primary text covering the subject's core concepts. The translations will also benefit students looking to review their lessons or to prepare themselves for more advanced studies. Musa Ferber has studied traditional Islamic sciences with sheikhs in Syria and Egypt since 1994. He received a license to deliver legal edicts, fatwas, from the Grand Mufti of Egypt in 2008. He currently resides and works in Abu Dhabi. So we have the front page, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, all praises to Allah alone, to the end of that. Then we have a transliteration key. Then we have contents. And then we have a translator's preface. Then we have the first treatise, Nukhbat al-Fikr. We have the second treatise, Tadhkira. And then we have an index. And after the index, we have more information, more brief information available on the translator, about the translator. So let's get started, inshallah ta'ala, with the pros of the translation, the pros and features of the translation. Number one is we have a transliteration key. Number two, we have a table of contents. Number three, we have a translator's preface. Number four, we have brief biographies of both of the authors. Number five, we have brief information about the edition which was used for the translation of the first treatise, Nukhbat al-Fikr, not the second. Number six, brief advice and guidelines for benefiting from the two works, as we read from the excerpt, and as the translator has also generously mentioned in his preface. Number seven, we have brief information available on the author, who he is, where he comes from, etc. Number eight, we have accuracy and precision of the translation. Very precise and accurate translation. Alhamdulillah for that. Number nine, lack of footnotes and any unnecessary annotations. The book is very lean, straight to the point. And as the translator mentioned, he tried to present these two works in the simplest, easiest manner, as the authors intended it to be, a primer. Not an extensive, exhaustive, scholastic explanation, but a primer to get your feet into the water, to introduce you. Number 10, we have the academic and professional style of the translation. Number 11, we have an index that has been provided. Number 12, transliteration has been provided for each of the Arabic terms. So those are 12 pros and features of the translation. And you can see obviously that many of these pros or features should be basic things. They should be standard. But we know that common sense isn't too common. So many books we have introduced and reviewed and studied on the channel, and we know that these basic things are missing from the translation. These basic things are missing from the works that are originally written in the English language. You know who the author is, what was used, and the list goes on. Moving forward, as far as the cons of the translation, first and foremost, we have missing diacritical marks in several sections of the work of Ibn Hajar's work, in which Nukhbat al-Fikr is mushakkala. All of the vowels are there, but there are places in which many vowels are missing. It's a missing vowel, a missing diacritical mark, or it may be an incorrect diacritical mark. Number 2, the diacritical marks of the vowels are totally void from Ibn Mulaqin's work. They're not even there. And that's obviously going to stump the reader who doesn't know Arabic grammar, who doesn't know sarf, or those who do know grammar and sarf, but they want to read matan mushakkal. They want to read it with the vowels, with the diacritical marks. That's a problem, and that's been missing from Ibn Mulaqin's work. Number 3, we have no information on which edition was used for Ibn Mulaqin's work. He mentioned in his preface what version he used for Nukhbat al-Fikr, which is a good thing, but it's not mentioned for the second book. Number 4, the translator is not listed to be a specialist in the field of science of hadith. Number 5, we have inaccurate diacritical marks in many places, which we'll show and explain. Number 6, we have inaccurate transliteration of Arabic terms, obviously being transliterated into English in many places as well. As far as notable quotes, then we'll take one here from page 52, just one, inshallah ta'ala. It says here, this is the end of the memorandum. It is a quick boost for novices and an introduction to the book previously mentioned at the beginning, Al-Muqda', as it gathers the useful lessons and peculiarities and most interesting points and its precious gems. I finished preparing these notes in approximately 2 hours on Friday morning, 27 Jumad al-Awwal 763 after the Hijrah. May Allah make part of it excellent and make the rest be in goodness. Ameen. Some of the specific sins of the translation, there are a few. Alhamdulillah, not that many, but there are some. First, before we get into the specific sins, a few points of reflection. Certain words and terms that the translator chose to use, and it's not a criticism, because the translator is free to use whatever language he or she wants to. It's their book, it's their work, and English is a language. But for someone who's starting off learning a science like this, they may be forced to use the dictionary before they even get into the actual Arabic, before they get into understanding the science, because certain words were used and picked which are very scholastic, very high octane, high level of English. First and foremost is nomenclature. Nomenclature is a proper, valid translation of mustalah. But how many people know that word in English? And what light does that shed on a person saying hadith science or hadith terminology? We say nomenclature, which is a healthy word in English. Also on page 10, lacunas with regards to al-inqita', a breakage in the chain. That's a valid translation as well. It's inconsistency in the chain. But some of those words and some of those expressions, I know for sure, from my experience as a teacher, many readers will find them problematic. And they would be in the Oxford, Cambridge dictionary before they actually got into what Ibn Hajar or Ibn Mulaqin is saying. Moving forward. So we have some of the different anaween headings and chapter headings that are not from the author. And the one who reads it, he may memorize it, she may memorize it, thinking that it's the speech of the author. Such as in the first page, Al-Muqaddimah. That's not the speech of Ibn Hajar. Aqsam al-Khabar, وَاِعْتِبَارَ تُرُقِ بُصُولِهِ لَيْنَا. That's not Ibn Hajar's speech. Al-Gharaba, it's not Ibn Hajar's speech. All of these anaween, all of these chapter headings are from the Muhaqqiq or the Nasikh. It's not from Ibn Hajar. And the one who's going to memorize this speech, he or she may be tricked or deceived, thinking that that's actual part of the metin, and that's the speech of Ibn Hajar, and that is scientifically wrong. Let's move forward. So we mentioned some of the diacritical marks that are missing or that are incorrect in both works. So let's take a few examples. One is on page 36. It says, number 2, a continuous report muttasal is that which has a continuous chain, whether it is raised or arrested. Obviously, it's supposed to be muttasil, a kasra vowel sound in Arabic, and with an I in English. It says muttasal. Then a few lines down, the second line from the last, it says munqata, and obviously it's supposed to be munqati' with an I as well. That's incorrect. And if a person memorizes that and reads that, it gets a big possibility that can be stuck with them. Page 44, it says here, point number 41, or it says point number 41, it says here, وَمَعْرِفَةُ غَرِيبِهِ وَلُغَتِهِ وَتَفْسِيرِ مَعَانِيهِ وَاسْتِنْبَاطِ أَحْكَامِهِ. In English, knowing its strange vocabulary and dialects, explaining its meanings and deriving its legal rulings. Did the Prophet ﷺ use strange words? Did he make strange phrases? Did he say things in a strange manner? That's the literal translation of gharib. Or does it mean that it was unique? Certain unknown or rarely used words and styles. Will we explain or we describe the Prophet ﷺ's speech with being a gharib, being strange? Page 25 in the translation of Nukhbat al-Fikr, it says وَعَنَعَنَةُ الْمُعَاصِرِ مَحْمُولَةٌ عَلَى السَّمَاءِ إِلَى مِنَ الْمُدَلِّسِ وَقِيلَ يُشْتَرَطُ ثُبُوتُ لِقَائِهِمَا. Obviously, al-mu'asiri, the kasra is missing. Then it says min al-mudallisin with a kasra tanween. That's wrong. It's supposed to be one kasra. The next line or the line after that, وَاشْتَرَطُ فِي سَعْةِ الْمُنَاوَلَةِ اقْتِرَانُهَا. The sukoon is missing from the qaf. Last line of that paragraph, وبذلك كالإجازة العامة وللمجهول وللمعدوم. The sukoon is missing from the waw as well. Then the next paragraph, الرواة ثم الرواة إن اتفقت أسماءهم وأسماء آبائهم فصاعدا. The shad and the fatha is missing. اتفقت, two lines down again, it's missing as well. when اتفقت الأسماء واختلفت الآباء أو بالعكس, the shadda and the fatha is missing as well. Also, the page 23, it says صيغ الأداء ومراتبها وصيغ الأداء سمعت. The first one is wrong. That fatwa, that dhamma is incorrect. It's supposed to be a fatha. سمعت, I heard. A few lines down, it says فالأولان لمن سمع وحده من لفظ الشيخ فإن جمع فمع غيره. Fatha is missing from the meme. And the next line, وأولها أصرحها, the fatha is missing from the ra as well. Page 19, ثم الإسناد, all of those vowels are missing. The sukoon, the fatha, the dhamma, etc. all missing. They are not there as well. Khairan inshallah. Ibn al-Mulaqin's work, Tadhkira. We don't have so much, as I said, because most of the vowels, or all of the vowels, none of the vowels are there, alhamdulillah. So that's pretty much it. And not too many problems or issues with the translation. Walillahi alhamd. So therefore, make sure you check out this book, inshallah, Hadith Nomenclature Primers. And we give the translator 4 out of 5 quills. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, 4 out of 5 quills. We grade this translation. Very good translation, very accurate translation, and an excellent contribution to the culture and to the Renaissance. Make sure you guys check it out, inshallah. Thanks for watching. We'll look forward to your comments, questions, any constructive criticism in the comment section, inshallah ta'ala.